Hi guys, and welcome to my official new bookshelf tour. On my physical TBR, I loved this book, Luke and Lorelai Vibes. That was all it took for me to spend the $20 on this book. This is currently my favorite book of the year. The precious shelf here. If you missed it, we've had a lot of life changes over here. I moved, got my own apartment, and the more important part, new bookshelf. Now my books have an amazing new home and I cannot wait to talk to you guys about them. So let's hop right in. I'm going to be showing you guys every single book that I own, every book that's on my physical TBR, every book I've read, all my favorite books, all the things. I kind of think we'll start over here and work our way that way. So physical TBR will be last, mostly because talking about how many books are on my physical TBR overwhelms me. Here is an overview of my shelves. They are the Billy shelves from IKEA. These two are red books and then these two are physical TBR, and then along the top is also red books. Actually, I guess we should talk about this corner first because I do have my Throne of Glass books over here. So this is my living room. I just got floating shelves. They're from Amazon. I'm a floating head. Ow. I got them specifically for the Throne of Glass series because I have these really cute bookends I thrifted, and I just feel like Throne of Glass takes up so much room on the normal shelves, and it's my favorite series of all time, so I want to give it its own moment. And I do have a Throne of Glass print up here right next to them, so I thought that was perfect. Okay, hi, this is as high as my tripod goes up, so just bear with me. So I did have the Throne of Glass series right here, but since I just moved it over there, now this is just Crescent City. I might change these two. I'm not too sure. We'll just kind of see, because obviously ACOTAR 6 and 7 are coming out, so maybe I'll do something different here. I don't know yet. It's kind of just up in the air. I have this really cute lamp I thrifted here. It just needed display because it was so beautiful. And then down here we have ACOTAR. I do have both the editions. These I got off of Mercari, and I actually found a pretty good deal. I think I've had them for probably 3 years now. So yeah, I also just have this wolf figure from my grandma, just for, you know, the significance of the wolf in the first book. So yeah, these are my Sarah J. Maas books, and then we will go down to the next shelf, and that is some of my favorite romance authors. Okay, like I said, this bookshelf is my favorite romance authors. So we have Abby Jimenez and Emily Henry. These shelves are hard to like go in depth with because it's just like their books. I have read all of Abby's books except for Life's Too Short, so all of her books except that are over here. And then same with Emily Henry, I have read all of her books, so they are all over here. I found this at a garage sale, the UK. The garage sale was not in the UK, by the way, but I found it at a garage sale here, and it was 50 cents for the UK paperback. And I have always kind of thought about collecting those, but I haven't, you know, wanted to spend the money, so finding this for so cheap was amazing. So we were just slowly collect those. So some of my favorites here are like special ones. I have the UK paperback of Say You'll Remember Me, so I bought this when the book was coming out, and then I have the hardcover too. Yeah, Abby Jimenez is just my top favorite romance author, and then this is my favorite book by her just for the summer, and a close second though is Say You'll Remember Me, and then her new one, The Night We Met. Emily Henry is also one of my favorite romance authors, with Beach Read being my favorite. This is the like special edition one, hardcover one, and I think this is just one of the most beautiful books I own, and it's one of my favorite books I own. For the past couple summers, I think I've read this book every summer, but I did not do that this year. But I still have time, so maybe I should, or maybe I could pick a different one. And then we have all of her other books. Honestly, my favorite by far is Beach Read. Book lovers and people we meet, just they didn't hit as hard for me, and same with Great Big Beautiful Life, but I did really like Funny Story and Happy Place. Okay, next shelf. I feel like a floating head, but I want you to see the books. These are just some random romance books. This shelf is kind of by author more though. Okay, so first up we have Catherine Center. She is becoming one of my favorite romance authors, specifically her older books. These two I really enjoyed. And then I wanted to put this, The Conditions of Will, by my Magnolia Parks books, but there just wasn't room, and it's technically not part of that series, so I just left it here. We have some Ashley Poston books. I do have one or two more on my physical TBR, and I know she just came out with another one. Spanish Love Deception. This was one of my first reads, getting back into reading, so that was fun. Same with Love and Other Words, another good one. These I also read really early when I started reading again. I really liked them. The Last Letter, I got this at a garage sale this year, and I'm so glad I found it because I loved this book and had wanted it for my collection. Archer's Voice I enjoyed. And then The X-Files. This is a book that I didn't really love when I read it, but I kind of feel like I read it maybe at the wrong time, so I kept it to give it another chance. The Love of My Afterlife. This is one of my 5-star reads. I loved this romance so much. The Best Worst Thing I read this year and I loved it. The Fine Print. This book was not like an all-time favorite of mine, but I liked it enough to keep it and maybe continue the series. Unwanted by Mia Sheridan. I read this and I was obsessed with this book when I first finished it, but I did end up continuing the series with the second one that came out and I just didn't love it as much, but that's all good. The Love Hypothesis, a classic. The World's Next Door. This was like a cute rom-com I read. I enjoyed it. Things We Never Got Over. I still need to continue that series. And then this stack is my Sarah Adams book. She's just a good closed door, kind of more YA, but still adult romance book author. All right. And then the shelf is kind of more seasonal reads. So it starts off with some summer books. I have read more Carly Fortune than this, but I just don't have them anymore because I did not love them enough to keep them, I guess. And then again, some more summer books. I really enjoyed Alex Approximately when I read it a couple years ago. I think it's like my favorite summer read. Some more, and then we get into fall. This is probably my favorite seasonal read I've ever read, but also just one of my favorite romances I've ever read. So even if you're not in peak fall like this cover gives, I would highly recommend. And then we have some Christmas books. I do love like one Christmas book a year. That's why I don't have too many, but they're always fun. These two are probably my favorites, Love Light Farms and The Takedown. And then we just have my Lynn Painter books. I just mixed her YA and adult romance books. She's just always an author that I enjoy. The shelf is kind of random, but it starts off with YA series and then just goes into a couple just random YA books. This book, Anne and the French Kiss, I did not like, but it's just too pretty to get rid of, so I'm keeping it. And then the Cowboy Romance stack. I do have the rest of the series. I just need to read it. And then I put my boots there, and I think those are so cute. I thrifted both of those as well. And then down here is my more adult romances, which technically this is YA, but it should not be. I think they actually might have just reclassified it too. And then, yeah, so these are just some of my favorite adult romances. So the Windy City series, I love it. Ghosted is like a standalone, and then Long Shot, and then The Deal, of course. I do have a couple more books that will be added to this shelf because I don't own the full series of that, so maybe eventually, like if I thrift them, I'll find them. And then I do have Mile High on my physical TBR, and then this is a series I still have to read the rest of, along with The Deal, obviously. Hi, up here is two of my favorite fantasy series, the Fourth Wing series and then Divine Rivals Universe. So let's talk about these. Okay, so I do have a couple editions of the first Fourth Wing. I have the original sprayed edge one that we all go crazy over, the Christmas one, and then Iron Flame, and then Onyx Storm, of course. I love these sprayed edges. And then Divine Rivals, I do have the UK hardcover, and then the matching candle holder to this lamp. And then this dragon right here, I actually got it at the Onyx Storm midnight release party, so I thought that was just a really cute memory to put up there. Okay, and then this shelf is some of my favorite kind of general fiction or historical fiction books, and just the authors that their books are always going to be close to 5 stars for me. Again, some of my favorite authors up here, starting with Frederick Bachman. We have Beartown and My Friends. Both were 5 stars. And then we have Kristen Hanna, so The Woman, The Great Alone, and then The Nightingale, which is probably my favorite book of all time. This is a precious shelf here. And then we get into Taylor Jenkins Reid, again, one of my favorite authors of all time. There is some gaps here because I do have more TJR books to read, but yeah, so we have Seven Husbands, Daisy Jones, Maybe in Another Life, One True Loves, and then of course Atmosphere and Malibu Rising. So yeah, this shelf will definitely be changing once I read the rest of her books. It holds a lot of tears on this shelf. I think almost all of these books I cried during. Okay, this is another shelf with some of my favorite literary fiction reads, but also I haven't read that many compared to other genres, so it's just all of them. But honestly, all of these I've really enjoyed. So first up, we have The Wedding People, which I read this year and I really enjoyed. We have the Amalfi Curse, which I read last year and I really enjoyed as well. And then Yesteryear normally goes here, but I lent that to my mom, so it's not here, obviously. The Favorites, another great one. The Correspondent I read this year as well and loved it. The Academy by Ellen Hilderbrand. I loved this book. It was a time. It was really good. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. And I've read also The Perfect Couple by her, and I have loved all of the books I've read by her, so I definitely need to read her massive backlist. These 2 books are just like cute ones I bought for the cover at, maybe I thrifted them, maybe I got them at half price. It's just a little duology. It's from a dog's perspective, and the dog really reminds me of my dog, so that's why I read it. They're literally really short too. The Other Side of Now. This is currently my favorite book of the year. This book just had it all, and I loved it, and I think about this very frequently, and it was amazing, and go read it right now. Then I have The Storied Life of A.J. Figgery, Mary Jane, The Paris Notebook, Lovely War, which this could kind of go in fantasy, but I think I'm just gonna keep it here because it's kind of by some other historical reads. And then Remarkably Bright Creatures. Again, I talked about this so much, but I love a fun sprayed edge. Plain one, no thank you, but a fun one, yes. And this shelf is all mystery books. So it starts off, we have Jennifer Lynn Barnes. The Naturals is like my favorite series by her. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I do have the other 2 on my physical TBR, so they just need to be read and then they'll go there. Lying on the Deep and Under the Surface, I really enjoyed both of those YA thrillers. And then Dial A for Auntie series. This is just a good like cozy mystery series. And then the select few adult thriller / more mystery books that I've read. I don't really read a lot of mysteries physically, mostly just on Kindle, and a lot of times they don't really stick with me, but these ones over here, Listen for the Lie, Rock Paper Scissors, Billy Summers, and Wild Dark Shore, are ones that have really stuck with me, so obviously I bought them. Okay, and then we have the start of my YA fantasy. We have The Rose Bargain, which the second one just came out, so I'm really excited about that. And then this book, what's it called? Thorn Season. I did not enjoy, but I like the sprayed edges too much to get rid of it, so it's gonna stay here. Cruel Prince series. Again, I read this when I first got into reading and I really enjoyed it, honestly. Caraval series, and then into Once Upon a Broken Heart. The Ember and the Ashes series. I actually have read this entire series. I just don't own them. I've been slowly collecting them at half price or thrift stores because I read it from Libby probably 4 years ago at this point. And then this is just some more YA fantasy, and I do have the 2 newest Hunger Games books, and I think I still have my original Hunger Games books at home, so I did leave room for those if I want to bring them over, but something about leaving them at home feels right because they're like my childhood books. Like bringing them over here feels, I don't know, it feels emotional, so I kind of want to keep them there, but also if I do want to read them someday, they can be here by their friends. And then this is the next YA fantasy shelf. I'd say this is my more favorite YA fantasies over the other ones. First up, Shadow and Bone. I enjoyed this series, but not as much as Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. These are some of my favorite books of all time. I loved the Kiss of Deception series so much, and then you read this and then you go into Dance of Thieves, Vow of Thieves. Loved as well. And then Prison Healer series, another one I've loved. And then this is called The Madoran Chronicles, also by Lynette Nani, and I read the whole series. I just don't own them all. And then we have the Powerless series. I do have the newest novella that I still need to read, so that'll go there when it's done. Okay, and then these are technically adult fantasy and also my select few sci-fi I've read. So this is the sci-fi section. I enjoyed honestly all of these. Red Rising was a little confusing, but I did kind of enjoy it. The Will of the Many is one of my favorite reads of the year this year. Nevernight, One Dark Window, The Serpent, The Wings of the Night, I have read that one, the little novella, and then the second book, but I don't own those again. Phantasma I enjoyed. I haven't read the second one. When the Moon Hatched, the second one also just came out for that. And literally same with Middle Slinger next to it. I have that book, I just haven't read it yet. And then the Assistant to the Villain series, which is one of my actually favorite fantasy series. I love it. So I did leave a little room to the side, and obviously I could turn that because a lot of these do have sequels that are already out. It is time for the physical TBR part, which I'm definitely worried. I kind of feel like I should count them, but I also don't want to know. Oh, should I count them? I guess we'll count, but first let's go through the books on the top because those I have read. Okay, up here we have the Magnolia Parks and Daisy Haight series. I have the new, like, traditional published and also the indie, or I don't know if it was technically indie, but I do have both of them. And then in this corner I have a special edition that is maybe the most beautiful book I own. I can't get over it. I would love to have the whole series, but these are just a little out of budget for something I don't need 3 copies of each book in the series. And then this is kind of a work in progress shelf because, again, same with the Hunger Games books, I'm debating if I want to bring over my original Harry Potter books or just do something cute up here because I do have another Harry Potter Lego set. I have this one too that I need to build, and then obviously I could take the books out of the box set and put them out, but I just haven't done that yet. So yeah, we'll just kind of see what is going on here. And if you haven't watched my Harry Potter reading vlog, go watch it. It's full spoiler. And then I think we're on to the physical TBR. I think I'm gonna start with the small shelf. Hi. I think I'm just gonna talk to you guys about them and then we will count them at the end. This is physical TBR romance mostly, but authors that I have multiple of. Okay, actually this one I don't, but they just go together in my mind. So we have Catherine Center, Hello Stranger, In a New York Minute, Heartstopper 3 and 4. I do have the 5th one, but I think that's at home somewhere because I thrifted it. 3 Christina Lauren books, Something Wilder, The Soulmate Equation, The True Love Experiment, and then the 3rd and 4th in the, I forgot what that series is called, but the Done and Dusted series, and then the Off Campus series. These two right here I got from half price 4 years ago in 2022, and these I just bought recently because I do want to continue the series, obviously. And then In Your Dreams, Sarah Adams, because I have read the rest of that series. These are kind of romance books that are either high priority or I've just had forever. So first up we have Time of Your Life by Jessa. I need to read that. Then we have 3 Mariana Zapata books. All of these I've owned for like 3 years. We have both Winnipeg and Me, Colty from Lukov. I've had all of these for so long and I have not read a single one by her. Promise Me Sunshine. This is honestly a really anticipated romance read for me. I think I'm just scared because I do know it deals with deeper topics. Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I haven't read many of her new books, but this is one of her older ones. I haven't read like the STEM ones. The Bromance Book Club, Always Be My Duchess. These two I've had for years and haven't read, but I do think they still sound interesting. Mile High, this one I need to read because I've read the rest of the series and this is literally the first book. Made for Each Other by Lynn Painter. Terms and Conditions, this is book 2. And then Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is one of my favorite parts on my shelves, the pink stack. I had one of these at my bookshelves at home too, and I had to bring it over because I just love pink. And I love this, how it's not just like the books, the rest of them, it's something different but still cute and holds a lot of books. Okay, so I kind of tried to start with light pink, clearly. So on the bottom we have Icebreaker. I'm intimidated by this book, but I still want to give it a chance. I think I have the indie edition actually. By a Thread by Lucy Score, Things We Hide from the Light. I need to finish that series. I think I started this one and just couldn't get into it at that time. First Time Caller, I just got this at a garage sale actually, so I'm really excited. I've heard great things. Save the Date, this was actually sent to me by the publisher and I'm so excited to read this. It sounds so good. It's like a wedding setting. Wild Love by Elsie Silver, also want to get to this. I've not read any of her books outside the Chestnut Spring series. Sounds Like Love, I do want to try this one too. I didn't like her 3rd book. I can't remember what it was called, so I'm hesitant about this, but I still want to give it a chance because I loved her first 2. Passion Project, I really want to get to. When this came out, I was really excited about it, but I just haven't got to it yet. The Paris Match, I just picked this up pretty recently. I thought it sounded really good. It's set in Paris at a wedding and it just sounded really adorable and I really wanted to read it. You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hoggle. This is a book I've just heard great things about, but it's always interesting to me reading romances where they're already in a relationship and have to try and better it. That is the pink stack. Okay, this one I also tried to organize by color and I think it actually looks really good. So this we have Plot Twist. I got this in the bargain books at Books A Million a while ago. I thought about unhauling it before, but in the end I end up keeping it because I think it sounds good. Addicted to You. I feel like this series I'm either gonna love it or hate it. I have yet to find out, obviously. Most of All You, Mia Sheridan. I don't even remember. Actually, I'm gonna read what this is about. I have no clue what this is about, but I've enjoyed the books I've read by Mia Sheridan. I think I got this at half price. Maggie Moves On. I do really want to get to this one. I think it's about a YouTube house flipper, and I grew up watching HGTV, so I think that would be fun and nostalgic. If you ask me, this is simply because the male main character is a firefighter. Out of the Woods. Again, this one also intimidates me because it is a couple that is already together trying to better their relationship. And then Just Last Night, I have had since Haley Pham was raging about it. Georgie All Along. This I got in a blind date with a book actually. The little slip on it said that it gives Luke and Lorelai vibes, so that was all it took for me to spend the $20 on this book, or however much it was. Life's Too Short, we talked about this earlier, the only Abby book I have not read. Consider Me, I just got this at a garage sale too for $1. I did not know this was a hockey romance, so I'm really excited to read that. Love Redesigned, Lauren Asher. I have, again, only read the fine print by her, so excited to read this. Love Interest, another Haley Pham rec, and then Fever Dream. This is actually, I think, the newest edition on my physical TBR. Barnes was having the get a $10 credit deal if you order a book, and this sounds really good. Like, actually, I might put this on my coffee table to read now. He's a bull rider, a professional bull rider, and he goes on this reality TV show. Okay, I'm reading that right now. I think genuinely starting that tonight. I actually really enjoyed this shelf too. So we have, it starts off with nonfiction, and then we get into Stephen King because Stephen King's memoir is right here. So it starts with Tuesdays with Maury. I think this book is gonna make me sob. And then Everything I Know About Love. I actually got, I think, a little bit farther than this bookmark into this book, and I softy enough'd it, but I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood for life lessons, I guess. Green Lights, Matthew McConaughey. I just have a crush on young Matthew McConaughey. That's why I bought this. Fun fact, I actually accidentally bought this book in Spanish the first time I bought it, so I had to exchange it at Target because I ordered it online, and online they only had the Spanish or something. I don't know. The Let Them Theory. I also soft DNF'd this because thinking about my feelings and trying to change my life like that scares me. Stephen King on writing. If you guys didn't know, I am writing my own book. I'm like halfway through my first draft, so I got this in case I needed some extra motivation and was in the mood for that. And then 3 Stephen King books, 11/22/63. I can hear Ashley yelling at me to read this, and I know I need to. Dreamcatcher, this one just sounded really interesting to me, and then same with Christine. I don't know if any of these are technically, I know this one's like not horror, but I don't know if these two are technically horror because that scares me but also excites me. Okay, and then down here it is mostly hardcover fantasy. So we have Babel, which is extremely intimidating, Defy the Night, Lee Bardugo, The Familiar, Alchemist, which I tried to read, could not lock into, but this book I was so excited for when I was doing my Harry Potter reread, so hopefully I can get to that this year. Alchemy of Secrets, I've loved Stephanie Garber, obviously. 5 Broken Blades, Bury Our Bones. I think I got this at TJ Maxx, actually, like right after it was coming out, so I was hyped about that. The Night and the Moth, I loved the Shepherd King duology, so I'm excited about this. I've heard great things. And then we also have Mistborn here. It kind of bugs me. It's not a hardcover, but it's tall enough. It doesn't look bad. Okay, and then we are moving over to the big shelf on the bottom. I do have a little room here, but not much. Okay, starting over here we have Lore Olympus. I did start this book once, but I did not get far enough into it. Throne of the Fallen, I need to read so bad, but I do want to finish the King of the Cursed or whatever duology. One for My Enemy, Olivia Blake, City of Brass, Vicious. This one I got at half price. I think it's one of the original covers. I'm not too sure though. Discovery of Witches, The Poppy War, The Second Death of Locke, If We Were Villains, Hotel Magnifique, Heavenly Bodies, The Bridge Kingdom, The Priority of the Orange Tree. I don't know why I bought that. It is absolutely so scary to me. Broken Blade, The High Mountain Court, The Gutter Prayer, Jade City. This book I also started to read, but I was deep in a slump when I did, so I did not get far into it. The House in the Cerulean Sea, The Wishing Game, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia, The Strength of the Few. This is another new addition to my physical TBR. Okay, and then this shelf is sci-fi over here into YA fantasy. So starting over here we have Recursion by Blake Crouch. I read Dark Matter and loved it. Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I'm so excited to read this book. That's why it's facing out. The Ministry of Time. I think I also started this one and stopped DNF'd it. The second and third book in the Red Rising series. I thrifted these at a book sale thing. I think they were like $1 a piece. Scythe and Renegades. I'm excited about these. I've loved Marissa Meyer, so really especially excited about Renegades. King of Scars, Rule of Wolves. Honestly, I have no good reason for why I haven't read those. And same with Fearful. Like, that's literally a sliver of a book and I haven't read it. The Curse Worker, Tithe, also by Holly Black. I bought these right after I finished the Cruel Prince series because I liked it so much. Clearly I haven't read them. And then I need to switch these. Drive me crazy. These Hollow Vows, these Twisted Bonds, A Fragile Enchantment. I also started this and could not get into it. The Stolen Heir, and Bloodmarked. I really need to finish this because I loved Legendborn. Okay, and if you see some books popping out there, that is the Twilight box set. I don't know where else to put it, so it's gonna stay there. It's not really hidden the best, but I don't care. These two I always have to display out because they're so pretty. Our Infinite Ends, House of Roots and Ruin, Small Favors, This Woven Kingdom, The Queen's Assassin. Again, I also started this one but couldn't really get into it. Blood of Hercules. I think this is adult, so technically it should be down a shelf, but whatever. 1,000 Heartbeats. I love the Selection series so much. Okay, then we have Belladonna, Furyborn, Kingdom of the Cursed, Kingdom of the Feared, Serpent and Dove, A Deadly Education, A Curse So Dark and Lonely, Grimrose Girls, Sorcery of Thorns, Songbirds, Sisters of Sisters of Sword and Song, and Realmbreaker. Okay, these three I put up here so I wouldn't forget to talk to you guys about them. They are sitting on my coffee table because this is my like priority TBR. So I'm just gonna run through these quick, but we have Light Wielder, Into the Blue, Baroque Country, and then I'm gonna add Fever Dream to this stack, and then I'll make sure to count these in my number. Okay, so these right here I thrifted off of Mercari, I think, or Poshmark or something. It was a really good deal. Yeah, I want to get to the series, that's why I bought them. Truly Devious Trilogy, I don't know, I just keep putting it off. Same with these, I keep putting them off and I don't have a reason why, because I liked them. Good Girl Bad Blood, As Good as Dead, Killjoy, and then 5 Survive, also by her. The Brothers Hawthorne, honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna read this. I need to like read the back and see. Such Charming Liars, None Shall Sleep. Oh, this is like mystery shelf. The Gray Shear, Shiny Broken Pieces, Tiny Pretty Things, Snow Globe, Wilder Girls, Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, The One, The Really Dead Wives of New Jersey, A Flicker in the Dark, and then the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Okay, so this shelf is fiction books. These are books that are high on my TBR, and also there's some mystery up here. Before We Were Innocent, My Dark Vanessa, Blue Sisters, Cleopatra and Frankenstein. I actually found this same book at Goodwill today, but obviously I already have it. A Little Life, Please Don't Feed the Mayor. This book, I did like a reading challenge at the library, and they had, you can pick out a book from like their book section that you can buy or whatever, and I chose this one because it has Zeus on it, and there wasn't the best of options. Wayward, Pictures of You, this has turned out because one, I love the cover, two, I really want to get to it soon. The Two Lives of Lydia Bird. Then we have Taylor Jenkins Reid, After I Do and Forever Interrupted, and then Carrie Soto's back. So I need to read these three by her. The Sirens, 28 Summers by Ellen. I need to read this because I've loved her other books. The Paris Novel, Tomorrow, and yeah. And I think Broken Country usually goes here. King of Ashes, The Maidens, and then one Italian Summer. Okay, this is the last stack, so it's mostly fiction with some romance. Over here we have A Man Called Ove, The Winners by Frederick Bachman. I have the second one, but it's at home still because I was trying to read it. This stack is Kristen Hanna. I just love this. I love having something different in the middle of books that are just straight up like that. I love this. Yeah, so these are all Kristen Hanna books. Summer Island, Night Road, The Four Winds, Winter Garden, Firefly Lane, Distant Shores. She's an author that every time I see one of her books at the thrift store, or I think a couple of these are maybe from a library book sale, I will buy them because I've loved everything I've read by her, so I don't think she's gonna strike me wrong, and especially if I can get them on the cheap, that's always a plus. And then some more historical fiction over here. So we have The Paris Daughter, Bluebird. I think that's technically YA, and same as The Paper Girls of Paris, Last Christmas in Paris, and then some seasonal reads, Fairy Tale in New York, The Honeycrisp Orchard Inn, Holly Jolly Cowboy, one summer book, Beach Cute, and then Every Last Word, and then Hearts Overboard, so just some more YA romances. Today, Tonight, Tomorrow, The Getaway List, and then some adult romance. We have The Simple Wild Brutal Prince, Butcher and Blackbird, Bittersweet Memories, and then the Mind series. This I got at a garage sale, and it's come to my attention that this is a really good find for $5. Don't try and even think about taking it from me because I've been wanting to read that series for years. Okay, everybody, place your bets on how many books are on my physical TBR. I'm gonna count. I'm gonna guess 175. And that is a very educated guess because I do have most of them shelved on Fable. So let's get counting. Wish me luck. I don't think I can tell you guys. Like, I'm so serious. Okay, well, now I want to know how many books I've read. Well, like, I know I've read more on Kindle. I need to write this down. Hang on. I am genuinely, like, extremely embarrassed right now. That is terrible. I kind of forgot the number, honestly. Okay, I'm gonna count how many I read. Okay, I do feel better about the number on my physical TBR after counting my read books, and also keep in mind, I don't have every book I've ever read, especially in the last 4 years since I've had Goodreads. I read almost 350 to 400 books in the last 4 years since 2022, so obviously I don't have all that. I mean, I have maybe that number total, but not that I've read. Okay, drumroll please. I'm going to tell you how many I've read first that I have. I have on my read shelves 223 books, and that is not counting duplicates. So obviously ACOTAR, I have 2 of each book. Same with Magnolia Parks and Crescent City. That's just 1 for each of the books in the series. I didn't count that I've read both editions, whatever. I don't think I explained that good, but. And then on my physical TBR, I have 202 books. I hate that. I genuinely did not think I could even tell you guys that, but at home when I did categories on Fable, I didn't include this, the City of Bones box set or Twilight, I don't think. So that is obviously a big chunk of that. That's probably like 15 plus books. So long story short, I need to get reading. So if you have a book that you saw on my physical TBR shelf and you're like, I love that book, that is my favorite book, please tell me, because I need motivation. I just need motivation to read these all. Or if there's one that you are like, that book was absolutely horrible, I don't think she would like that, tell me. I will unhaul it. Yeah, thank you guys so much for reading, and let me know if you have any video ideas that could be fun to incorporate my physical TBRs. We could do like number them or have someone pick from them. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.